Hello, sleepy folks. How are you doing on this lovely Sunday evening? Sleepy? Who said we're sleepy? I know you're sleepy, baby. Baby, I know you're sleepy. You worked very hard all week. Now it's time for some video games. I know I'm sleepy because I was sleepy when I tried to do university work this morning and managed to do some of it. I was even more sleepy when I tried to run a game and did alright. It's fine. I had the same energy as everyone else. It doesn't mean I it doesn't mean I don't wish I could reach into the GMing ether and steal power and invest it into my players to bring them to life and give them the excitement that they crave. But it turns out I'm not some sort of energy wizard as much as I'd love to be, and so I can't just do that. Extremely sleepy, almost functional today. Okay, well, like, your silly meme character is pretty funny. I love how hard Smokin' Joe caught you. Like, I have baby food from Baby K on my shoulder. Amazing. The glamorous life of a parent. I love how much it caught you, because I'm like, yeah, it's a good song. Cool. You did good work. And that's it. That's all I got. What you should do is here I'll have to export the stat block and then post it and the song to Discord servers, including the Professor Jimbles Discord server, which you can get by typing !class. Oh, fantastic. It's nice to get even a silly idea down on paper. Be like, hey guys, look at this. How cool is it? You know, I think it's great. Yeah, I watched a video by Drew Gooden. He's a pretty funny YouTuber. I like it. I've sent out at least one dumb video to someone. You're welcome. And and he was like, I watched the Ninja Masterclass on streaming and it ruined my life. Like, that's fucking hilarious. Okay, I watched it. And yeah, I agree, man. There's a lot of the points there, quite funny. But Ninja did mention multiple times that he had blue hair, and that was a big draw for his streaming career. So, I'm already halfway there, baby. Not just because I've booked another hair appointment to have it trimmed and cut and colored because regrowth. Everyone send non-pushy best wishes to our good friend Corey, who is not feeling 100%, and we send a lot of love. I have not taken a look at my Discord server at all today, because if I have not been parenting or running a game, I've been doing university work, and I need to do university work. Given I've only been like listening to lectures and not doing as much of the reading as I would like this semester, hey, it turns out having a baby is time crunchy. I think at least putting in a decent effort to this assignment will get us over the line before I consider next semester. Fuck, do I take even longer of a break? I don't know. They'll be mad at me, but so what? Sorry, guys. Deferment, child, is, I think, pretty legit. And when it comes to the priority listing for things that eat up my time, he's going to come real close to the top on the priority list. Baby K just needs it. He doesn't have a choice. Babies need, that's most of their job. Learn and grow and fail so that you can learn and grow some more. I know you did not have a TV, so that's a hell of a development. Congrats, Loxy. And congrats to Simon. Yeah. Anyway, so he wasn't able to do any promotion. Drew Gooden wasn't able to do any promotion, like use his YouTube channel to say, hey, I'm streaming now, because that would defeat the purpose. And after like a massive 24-hour stream and going live every day for a couple of weeks, like, he got one follow. So honestly, I do feel a little bit successful, even though it has been a few years and I'm not rich and famous yet. It certainly didn't hurt that Twitch gave me another payout and I immediately spent it on ingredients and then cooked with them. Like a box full of vegetables, and I've been made a bunch of very fresh vegetables for snacks today for game, and last night I used a few veggies diced up and then food processed incredibly fine to thicken up a butter chicken sauce, because the recipe was like, hey, you should puree an onion to act as a weird thickener. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I can do that. You know what else I can do? I'll puree a fresh onion, and I'm also gonna puree some capsicum and chili. Not a zucchini, though I should have. And Emmer's like, stitching him is currently, I believe, while parenting, going to dehydrate some lettuce to turn into vegetable powder. Incredible. You can just dash that into smoothies and other baby food to knock it up the vitamin count. Pretty fucking cool. Night before, lots of steamed broccoli. I love steamed broccoli. Anyway, that's where all my energy's going, and all the Twitch payouts. I could... Yeah, I don't know exactly whom I was talking to at the time. I remember being like very sleepy and relaxed, so probably wasn't a crowd. Let's talk about to upgrade and or professionalize my stream any further. What I'm going to need is a better lighting scenario, because like the ring light on my camera, not terrible, but I think we could do better. Plus, it looks so pale. And I'm a streamer. I need an LED behind me, right? LED? No. Neon. I need a neon sign or something to make the whole back wall purple. Plus, you know, bisexual. I should roll with the colors. And instead of just having like a Triforce pillow, which I put there... Fair, Luxy. The Triforce pillow is just a present Druid got Stitching M. Fuck. Baby K loves biting it. Yes. Just write that down. And then... Now it's just sitting there. Hello, Violets. Whoa. 35. Cool. So that's not bad. It is at least slightly gamer related. Man, I see that tiny comic everywhere, and it started to become if I feel like I've seen it a billion times and kind of irritated. But no, it's still a good one. Turn up on the beach. All that reflected sun will make you highly visible. Anyway, will neon purple or something would be appropriate, and then I could wear different shirts. I got a really awesome slutty shirt like last week. Yeah, last week. Fucking great, right? It's been washed and hung and dried, and it's very summery, so it's not going to be... I can't wear it for any length of time. It would be good fun. Yeah, exactly, Luxy. Good job. I'm glad we agree on this. It's highly important. In any case, we do that, and then spend quite a bit more money to figure out what the fuck's going on with my sound, given I'm so quiet compared to the others. Apparently. Like, I think it's the microphone, because the mixer still also says that I don't come through particularly loud. I use this one as opposed to a different, because this is great and not that expensive for picking up singing. That's why I got it. You put a decent noise cage around it, man, get M's vocals perfectly. Anyway, you want to play some Shadowrun? I want to play some Shadowrun. Even if our good friend Corey, who was not feeling well, catches up on our VOD, he can see that we are sending him all of our love, the four of us who are live, and playing the system and setting he loves so very much. On Tuesday night, we talked about a cool way to get it started. Below me instead of above me? Not really, because, like, the boom arm comes over the top. Also, I can just rotate it. So it is directional, right? And I've got it set to pick up only from one direction. And I got it set to pick up here. You know? So you can do that. It's not omnidirectional. You don't want omnidirectional. But it's not quite a shotgun mic, which I could have out of shot. If it's a shotgun, I could have it there and point it at my mouth, and it'd pick me up perfectly. Right now, I mean, I could... Oh, much more... Yeah, if I did that, jeez. Emma Stitches also really doesn't like it when there's stuff coming up on front of the desk, which I understand. I think that's a decent point. Baby K will reach up and pull things off, where this one here, it's too heavy. And I can just put it... After stream, I move it. Which is why sometimes you don't hear me because I failed to move it over. Yeah. Oh, dinner. Excellent. The idea of should I like mess around with things? Yeah. If I had an extra 2 hours a day, just 2 hours a day. Ooh, especially if they're true tracked hours. And who knows? Like maybe my webcam is shit too. It is a webcam. It's not a real camera. Maybe that's a point of upgrade. There's a joke that's like, I'd upgrade more of it if someone bought the things for me, so I'd feel the social pressure to go, fuck, I need to actually use that thing they got me. I got a sweet set of 2 lapel mics that I can't currently use because I need to mess around with how the fuck they work. Capture the game, buddy. I assure you exist. There you go. Fuck, yeah, that's a good one, Violets. That's a very good point, actually. I don't think I post enough feet to have people buy me things on the internet, right? Okay, that's the meme. The meme is just post feet, you'll get things. That's not really what it is. It's make yourself a sexual being that is willing to indulge in people's fetishes. The easiest to do is foot fetishism. And then things will happen. But like, by no means the only one. And nor can you just post feet without any other content assigned to it and get the things that you are desiring. You will have to do sex work. The sex work may very well just be posting in lingerie and feet pics. I don't think we got paid anything from that run. That was the last run we did was the test. Do you have a platform? But so many of you are my actual real life friends. And like, I also don't hate the idea of Jimbles doing minor sex work. One of them would be write smut for money. You tell me what you want, I'll do it. But adding additional work to my plate just isn't going to be viable at the moment. I'm busy writing stuff for Fedor in university, and it's so tiring. She grins at you all, spark and mischief. Hannah, how you been? Could be worse. Can't it always? Be well, my friends. Stay safe. It was hard enough for me to like reach out and actually tell only 2 people, hey, this is a thing that I would kind of like. I attempted 3 times and only managed to send the message on the 3rd attempt. So that's... The Turk flashes his wry smile and winks at you knowingly. I am told that you have been quite busy of late, a wanderer of the shadows. My street rats tell me that business is picking up. Is that the man who's taken over from Monaco, Burakazi? Who does it look like, your rotundity, the Pope from the Vatican? Give him a soy calf, a big one, and put it on my account. I like the cut of his jib. A large soy calf? My, you are the generous one, Goldschmidt. Are you sure you can afford such a gesture? The fat man frowns. And a scone. I was going to say, and a scone as well. Nothing is too good for him. As you desire, O ample one. The Turk whispers. The man is a moron, but he eats his weight in baklava and pastries, so who am I to care? No. What is it that you would like? I found this cheap liquor in my travels. Worth anything? No, not quite. I receive cases of this for less discerning clientele. I could offer you maybe a 10 million? No thanks, I'll hold on to it. That is your choice. Anything else? Just killing time. I'll be going now. I'll need that cheap booze, right? Pendrolin, welcome back, and my congratulations on a job well done. If you wanted Aylshire dead, you could have just said so. I'd have taken the job either way. He nods thoughtfully. Good to know, but the purpose of this test is to gauge your adaptability. We need to know that you'll be willing to do what we tell you to do, regardless of your personal feelings on the matter. And we need to know that you'll roll with the punches if circumstances change mid-run. Many of your colleagues in the Shadow community have overinflated egos. They let their personal feelings interfere with their work. My organization needs to know that you will see tasks that we assign you through, no matter what. Say nothing. The true purpose of the run that you just went on was to test your willingness to adapt to change. You're still being tested, by the way. If you work for my organization, you may be asked to do things you find morally troubling. Sometimes it might even appear that we are lying to you. But you can take comfort in knowing that everything we request of you is ultimately for the greater good. And what is this greater good? Define it for me. You can't see the big picture. I can't either. I am, again, just a mouthpiece. The only ones who know my organization's ultimate ends are its ruling council, and they aren't in the practice of sharing information with their hirelings. But know that they are some of the most intelligent men on this planet, and they place a high priority on social order and stability, and those are good things by anyone's standards. So, he stares at you in the eye. What do you think of all that? Every client I've ever worked for has kept secrets. I don't see how this is any different. After a brief pause, he nods and reaches forward and places the cred stick in your hand. Congratulations, you've passed your audition. Welcome to the payroll. What happens now? Now we part ways. Don't worry, I'll call you when your services are needed. He taps a neatly trimmed fingernail against the earpiece of his comic. When I contact you with a new task, the choice of whether to take it or leave it will be yours. If you take it, return here and I'll pay you a first sum for your services. If you leave it, well, there are some in my organization who'll be quite unhappy. Good to know. I suppose I'll be waiting to hear from you then. Very good. I'll be in touch. A little bit. Here's the goatee. Whoops. As you approach the counter, you find Absinthe reading a small soy calf-stained booklet. The pages are old and withered. Pendrolin, a pleasure, as always. What can I do for you? Looking to buy some magic? You want to talk to Algernon? He's just around the corner. That's all I needed. Be well, Elf. Okay, none of the backstories I'm progressing because we haven't done a main mission in a while. Yeah, let me buy some stuff. We need some spells. We still don't have much money. Bolt 3. Power Bolt. That'll do. Can't upgrade everything. Cool. Well, that's a plus. My organization has other goals. Is that doing it for you? We just do not have the money. Buy ourselves a knife. Oh, lots of grenades. I think we're good. All right. Let's move on with the main quest, shall we? No. We've done a mission for Blitz. And only Blitz. Oh, no. Blitz and what's his face? That guy. So, like, there should be another side quest for other two companions, right? Two unread messages. One lost DVD. There's no more side quests for us to do. The screen flickers to life and Mellet's face appears. She wears a plastic smile. Oh, again, Pendrolin. Well, I've recovered one last DVD for you, but I'm afraid that's all you're going to get. You might as well use the rest as coasters. They're all beyond repair. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you'll find a disc I salvaged. She pauses. A slight frown crosses her face. To be completely honest, that was a lie. To recover this last disc, I was forced to subcontract. Shorty is still a brute of a man. I am unimpressed with his manner, and his poor hygiene disgusts me. But he's very good with old things such as this. All credit where it's due. Message ends, and the image fades. You find yourself at your inbox. Still alive. Yana, to Pendrolin. I guess that I should thank you. You got me out of that horrible job alive. I don't think I could have made it on my own. What happened on that run took everything else away from me, but at least I'm still breathing. The lodge turned me into a killer, Pendrolin. It gnaws at my guts every minute of every day, and I still can't sleep at night. Innocent people, normal people, died because of what I did. And you know why they made me do it? Because they could. I don't know, maybe this doesn't bother you. You're a Shadowrunner after all. You kill people all the time. Just another day at the office, huh? Oh, I'm not like you. I can't just kill people on the job and forget about it the next day. This is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't know how to live like this, but it's still better than not living at all. That's what I keep telling myself, and so I figured I might as well tell it to you too, Jay. Jeez, alright. Shadowland Shadowland BBS. Post pay data. Nothing. Claim payment. Sharing Pharma AD research. Cool. 380. Search for relevant keywords. No, nothing new. Jobs directory. Oh, wow, okay. Claim payment. Submit the job as finished and wait your client's response. A few moments later, a message pops onto the screen. Herschmidt, to call your work unsatisfactory would be an understatement. When I said that we wanted the prototype, it should have gone without saying that we wanted it intact and operational. You technically fulfilled the terms of our arrangement, so you will get paid, but don't ever expect to work for us again. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox. Your payment details. Yeah. Exactly. The friendly little fend. They didn't need it. Claim payment for the farmer cleanup job. Submit the job as finished and wait your client's response. Herr Fuchs. No sense in missing words. Your job performance was satisfactory at best. Your fee will be transferred immediately. Enjoy it while it lasts, because you'll never work for us again. What do we do to them? Oh, that's right. We killed the dwarf. Pending and active jobs? None. Huh, okay. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. We could pay it off, huh? 5,000. That's not quite enough yet. Keep buying bullshit. It's cool. I'm pretty sure what's his face is going to give us stuff. Good job, Dante. Yeah, I can't talk to any then. It's just Paul. As you step forward, the rest of your team falls silent. Amsel shifts his attention to you. You can see the worry on his face. Pendrolin, I have new information. I'm afraid that the news isn't good. Yeah, I can tell you. Gathered the whole team. He nods. Yes, this is something that you all need to hear. Well, go on. Well, go on. We're listening. 2 years ago, a large shipment of highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapon was designated X-15. I have traced the path of the missing shipment. It was delivered to the Harfield Manor. Well, that sounds horrible. It is. I've heard of this stuff before. Back in the service, we called it Doom. I've never run across it in a while, but I've heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The stories that you've heard are correct. This Doom is an extremely dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer's display. I have been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale in biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now, and this substance is one of the reasons why. What does this stuff do exactly? Emsel clears his throat and reads aloud from the information on his screen. Doom kills by destroying a host muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth-212 isotope. When introduced into a host, these antibodies bind to a surface-level muscle tissue. The tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. The process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. Jesus. Iger nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple of border skirmishes back in 41. After seeing what it did to people up close, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on the stuff. If that doesn't tell you how bad it is, nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but what would a dragon want with this, Drac? Nothing good. That much goes without saying. Its development worries me, Pendrolin. It worries me greatly. If a dragon is stockpiling bioweapons, we've got an even bigger problem than we thought on our hands. There's a moment of silence. Then Dietrich speaks up. Well, in my book, this doesn't change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if Firewing is allowed to carry out her plans, whatever those might be, but we're going to stop her before that happens. That was always the plan. As far as I'm concerned, it's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans might be, the fact is that she is after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Amstel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward. And that means you must continue working toward raising Alice's fee. I'll leave the matter in your capable hands, Pendrolin. When you've acquired the necessary funds and are ready to head out to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we will discuss our next steps. Iger nods. Good. If you need me, I'll be getting prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. Dietrich casts a backward glance at Glory. If any of this had an impact on her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory, let's go. Now, you never got back to me about Frau Miller. How did the meeting go? I accepted the job. Any ideas on how to tackle this? Yeah, a few. Frau Miller has provided us with detailed information on the facility. I vetted the information and it seems to hold up. Based on this intel, I formulated what I believe will be an effective strategy to bring down the building. According to Miller's intel, the facility is extraordinarily well guarded. Whatever this bloodline project is, the Azis have spared no expense to defend it. The facility is patrolled by Az Technology's internal security personnel. On their own, they would pose a challenge, but I don't doubt that you could brute force your way through them. Unfortunately, they will not be on their own. Az Technology has purchased one of Knight Errant's more expensive security contracts as additional line of defense. A fortnight errant before, they don't scare me. You've never been up against one of their high-threat response teams. Be thankful for that, Pendrolin. I've pulled some strings with an old contact of mine, and he's provided me with the address of a small software developer, OTK International. I read the firmware updates for Knight Errant's comm systems. Their defenses should be considerably weaker than Az Technology's. My contact has informed me that OTK stores an off-site hard copy of every firmware update it develops for data security purposes. My suggestion is this: the officers of OTK International reduce their computers to slag. In the interim, I will have the hard copy of the next update replaced with a compromised version. When OTK's next update goes live, a compromised version will be pushed out to Knight Errant. When you hit the Az Technology facility, I'll be able to track Knight Errant via their comm links. This should make the run much more manageable. He fishes in his pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a corporate ID with your face on it. This will get you through the front door of the office park that contains OTK International. My contact was only able to provide me the one card, so you'll need to let the rest of your team in through a side door. Alright, sounds like a plan. Very good. OTK's offices aren't far from here. You should take the U-Bahn there when you're ready. Cool. Fourth DVD. Oh yeah, we've seen all this. Yeah, none of this is new. We must have watched it another time. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad, because I don't know if I want to go through the whole thing again. Cool. Hey, Igo, you got a quest for me? Igo glances up from a pity at the sound of your footprint, as the sound of your approach. Pendrolin, this isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear the anxiety in her voice. Something has her worried and in a big way. Talk to me, Igo. If something's put you on edge, I want to know what it is. There's a long pause. Finally, she turns her PDA so that you can look at the screen. This. The image that greets you is a holopic of a rail thin orc with jet black hair. Who am I looking at? His name is Yuli Kozov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of the best in his field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and wet work. In practice, he spends most of his time paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. He sets up bribes, takes out key members of the opposition, and he forges alliances with existing street gangs. All the groundwork that a syndicate needs. Ah, thanks, sorry, but sorry, Vohea. Vohea. It's extremely bad news, Pendrolin, and my contract spotted him in the Shadow Nest. That's a little too close to the Kreutz Bazaar for comfort. Exactly. I've seen what the engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sights of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We couldn't give away our position. To this day, I regret obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town he was softening up to the syndicate moved in. The thing is that just generally it's not a bot's account. It's a person's account that a bot is borrowing. Why create a new account for your bot swarm and you can just steal other people's accounts and credentials? It's also not the reason I put extra attention. I just wanted to make sure, like, I don't know, it's an interesting word. Yeah, they are now a bot. Pendrolin, I have to stop and meet before it's too late. What happened to that town? It can't be allowed to happen again in Shadow Nest. Agreed. Do you know who he's working for now? The safest bet would be a Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you'd expect. Got any examples? Well, I know for a fact he's worked for mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia, and he put in a lot of time with the Lobatchevsky syndicate. He's taken contracts with the triads as well. My contacts tell me that he's even done a few jobs for Tamanus. That's a hell of a resume. Yeah, it is. She bites her lip and stares at the image on the PDA for a long moment. It's a long story short, I'm going to have to step out for a mission or two. I know how important it is that we resolve the Feuerschwinge situation. I get it. But I can't just sit back and let this happen. She shakes her head. I won't. If the Kreutz Bazaar is at risk, this is too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you. End of story. All right, fearless leader. You're right. I could use the help. But the others... I can't know about this. This is going to have to be a quiet job, 2 people max. You sure you're prepared for this? If you can't hold up your end, I'll be better off on my own. Don't worry about me. I'm solid. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things. Meet me at the Wien Killer. I've got a contact who's going to join us there, and he can help us figure out our next step. Huh, nice. Yeah, there you go. Love it. One more side quest. We'll get to do Glories. Maybe tonight, too. Especially if we keep going, right? Shadowrun Dragonfall, much better than Returns, and Returns was good. So, nice, good job. And everyone says that Hong Kong is even better, and I believe him. But I think, like, I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure after this we're going to swap to either double Baldur's Gate 3, which sounds pretty tempting, or doubling up, like swapping back to Final Fantasy. It's time to get to Final Fantasy X to continue the series. Not just because I've got an itch for Final Fantasy XIV, and I promised I'd play that again when we get to story. Medical supplies. 500 each. No, we need that. Maybe I should get a better heal wound too. I just... 650 is nothing. We should store it, you know? Great idea. Current essence after... Okay, no, we're not doing that then. I was wondering if we had an extra 0.5 to spend. We don't, so we won't. Boost intelligence. .5 and 0.5. Could jump to that. -1 intelligence? Not happening. Cerebral booster. Strictly better than the encephalon. Not sure how we managed that, but we did. Alright, enough. Now we're going to go check more spells. Not what I wanted. Dallas Kramer. And then we take the subway and get the hell out of here. Got Powerbolt 3. This interface is not good. Take heal wound 2. Fireball was pretty effective last time. $15 damage, AoE 2. 25 on flamethrower. That's not bad at all. That's quite a lot of damage, actually. We have that. 1 willpower and charisma. One willpower and spellcasting. -1 AP. Cooldown 4, ball lightning. Big blaster, AoE. Done. Mana bolt, ball lightning. Good. Let's see if there's another mana ball. We got kind of wrecked by... Fuck it, why not? Like, not super wrecked, but we got in quite a bit of trouble last one by not being super prepared. And so we got a large influx of cash. I just don't think it's designed where you... I think... And this is good game design, especially for tabletop people, so keep this in mind. I think if your players fuck around and spend all the money, you'll have enough in that automatically deduct for the Alice Fund, or a plot point will come up where you get to do another last mission that will give you enough, even if you didn't have enough beforehand. No, not as technology. The other one is at the bar. And so I'm confident that the game itself won't let me soft lock. If it did, I don't know how I'd fix it. Like, I'm making that exceptionally clear. If the game did let me soft lock myself, I don't know if I could do a save edit that would let me fix it. This dwarf has a distinctly Eurasian appearance. He appears up at Iger through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and puts down his mug of soy calf. On the edge of the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in the haze of cigarette smoke. Hoi, Iger. Been a long time. He taps a thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keeping busy? You could say that. Pendrolin is Hispanic. He's a friend. Dwarf scoffs. Don't know if it'd go that far. Nothing personal, you understand, but if I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. A solitary life is cleaner. She smiles. Professional acquaintance, then. The dwarf nods. Better. Now let's get down to business, shall we? We need intel on the engineer, where he's staying, who he's working for, how long he's been in the Shattered Nest. Whatever you've got, we want it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it into his mouth, and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse. And of course, I'll give you what I can. But I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Just tell us what you can. We'll handle the heavy lifting. And Dwarf nods and fumbles in his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. All right, what you're looking at is the northwest quadrant of Shattered Nest. This is gang territory, all of it. These days, the whole Keats is being held by the Rambok. I'm surprised there's enough of them to hold much of anything. I heard they'd taken a hit a little while back. That was you, huh? Well, good on you. But you should know that they're still alive and well. And the guy who took over gang leadership is a real piece of work. If anything, they're worse than they were before. He stabs a meaty finger down on the faded silhouette of the building. This warehouse right here is Rambok HQ, and that's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful. Engineer exhales heavily. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That'd be the safe bet. And they haven't pulled their guns at him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure that I don't need to tell you this, but the last thing we need is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and Rambok. No good can come of that. Can't argue with that. Now, I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask him about that yourself. But what I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit down with him. Paddock reaches under the table and brings up a canvas bag. He places it in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. There are people in this room who'd kill you for what's in that bag. You gonna tell us what it is, or do we have to guess? He lowers his voice to a soft whisper. You have to lean in to hear him clearly. What you're going to find in there is a gadget about the size of a water pistol. It has a rubberized grip and a hair trigger, and it's good for one shot. Is it a stun gun? No. He pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For your purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator, and it's shipped here at great personal expense from Supermax Prison in the UCAS. It traces a twirl in the air with the fork. The warden owed me a favor. Iger whistles appreciatively. Very nice, Panic. That should make this easy. Not easy. Possible. I wouldn't be giving it to you if the job could be done without it. Engineer is rocking a Delta-grade move-by-wire system. Unless he can shut it down, there's no way in hell you're going to catch him. And if we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. He shrugs. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated isn't the same thing as broken. Dwarf shovels another heaping forkful of pie into his mouth. He chews thoughtfully. Till then, his life will be living hell, but I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for. The more you can take him out of his comfort zone, the better. Sounds like we have a plan. Iger nods. Sounds like that way. Thanks, Panic. We'll let you know how things work out. Don't bother, I'll be watching. Nice. To the Shattered Nest. Love that it's listed as optional. This objective isn't. You can't do it without going here. It's just video games. It's how things are organized. I don't hate it. I'm saying that a lot lately. Kind of hate. I dislike when I notice my own catchphrases. Unlike a TV character, call Liger and travel to the Shattered Nest to locate the engineer. I have more than one. Cool. Nice. Does anyone have like the Mossberg, excellent. And the Ranger arms. Where do I confirm adding the grenade launcher? I love the grenade launcher. It's so very helpful. Keep an eye on my phone in case I just ask for help with Baby K. The engineer. Shattered Nest. Keats next door to the Croix Bazaar and an object lesson in anarchy gone wrong. Violent gangs rule the streets here, trading territory to the roar of gunfire. The streets are a war zone. As dangerous as Shattered Nest already is, it could be worse. The gangs are vicious but disorganized. They pose little risk to their neighbors. With little more than a makeshift barricade and a few volunteers, the Court's Bazaar has successfully insulated itself from the chaos of the neighbouring keats. The engineer could change all of that. He has to be stopped, and the F state as a whole needs to be alerted to what his clients are trying to do. It's up to you and I to make sure that happens. This is where I make sure she's carrying the grenade launcher. 2 medkits. 2 medkits. That'll do. That's all we got. Let's go. Multiple 1. We don't want that. Heal win 1. I guess I didn't sell these 2. As you near the edge of the Croyd's Bazaar, the familiar piss and asphalt stench of the shattered nest crawls into your nostrils and sticks into the back of your throat. The dilapidated husks of burnt-out buildings loom above you, giving the place an air of menace. I was hoping to put this place behind me after the humanist run. Yeah, I'm with you there. She wrinkles her nose. Funny thing is, the syndicate presence might actually help Shattered Nest, in the short term at least, and clean up the streets if nothing else. Don't tell me you're changing your mind. Not for a second. Any syndicate in Shattered Nest would be a disaster for the Croix Bazaar. Let the people on the other side of the gate deal with their own problems. I won't allow my home to be endangered for their stake. Anarchists with a strong sense of hierarchy, but that's just a military training. You could love it in certain circumstances, not want to fight it, not want to live under it. You again? Well, you ignored my warning last time. You ain't dead, so I guess I can handle yourself. He sighs. Land through, Sergey. You think this is the right way? I'm sure. Rambok gang up ahead. Maybe there's a way around. Probably. Ooh, free bliss. Cardboard box is filled with makeshift bedding a homeless person might be using to keep warm at night. Search. Found a basic uncertified cred stick beneath the pillow. Leave it. We're not taking an unhoused person's cred stick. We don't need it. It turns out to be a shortcut or something and you need it for the quest, whatever, we'll shoot our way through. So when I say way around, do you think maybe she meant here? As opposed to here? Think that's a friendly? Guess it doesn't matter. How far around did she mean? Door panel. Engine is still warm. Colors on the tail clearly mark it as Rambok property. The warehouse door has a windowless slab of reinforced densiplast. Keypad entry system sits to one side. Got any ideas, Iga? Looks secure. She examines the heavy door, scowling. Might be able to blast it open with a controlled explosive, but it'd spook anyone inside. Probably best if we just find the code. We asked for ideas. She had an idea. This is where she could say something snarky about us being in charge, so it's our job to come up with ideas. Hey, lady. I got pots and pans. Any pots and pans? No, but some info would be nice. You seen any new friends at the Rambock shop lately? Yeah, sure have. What's it to you? A woman eyes you up and down, clearly waiting for you to make an offer. Hand over 50 new yen. Just trying to help out the neighborhood. She leans in for a whisper. They're just down the street, in the warehouse with the grass in front. New guy showed up a few days ago. Seems like a big wig. I've been bringing product through ever since. What kind of product? That cost you extra, sweetie. Is that important? 25. Guns, drugs, the usual. Seems like more drugs and guns lately, so maybe things will pick up around here. We've seen it's locked up tight. Sure, I can help you out there for a price. I can deal with that. 500, no less. I gotta make a living, you know. I'll figure it out on my own. Let's buy spells. We got outclassed in the last run. We'll need some sort of edge. What do you want? New in town. What's hot around here? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. All there is to do in Shatness is to get your ass beat by gangs until you decide to join one. Which gang are you in? Still in the former camp. I've heard what the Rambock do to haze new members. I'll take getting pushed around every once in a while over that. Just looking for some information. I bet you are. I've seen your type before. You're probably looking for someone or looking for something that's been stolen. Either way, the Rambock won't be happy about you sticking your nose in the Shannon nest. Alright, I'm leaving. Oh, can't run the convo again. That person with a gun, probably friendly, right? Best not get too close to those guys. Okay, so we don't have the money, I don't have the etiquette, and I don't have the strength. I don't have time for this. How much? Figure it out. Okay. So I can ask a way we could get a controlled explosive. I don't have the decking to get through. I'm going to ask about the explosives. If not, I'm going to go pick a fight with the Rambock guys. They'll probably have information. Try and putting a code. The buttons on the keypad are badly worn, and a wad of chewing gum has been plastered over the flickering screen. 7619? 7619. Okay. Ideas. Where can we get a controlled explosive? Afraid not. You're still a weapons dealer out here, but he wound up dead in an alley. 2 shots back of the head. Very professional. She eyes the door. Grenade alone wouldn't bring this down. If we could find a propane tank, I could rig something up with that. I don't want to do an explosive. Let's just pick a fight. Unless you're really sure there's nothing here. No? Okay. Oh, look. Propane tank. Ow. Dude. Okay, there's only one of them. starting to seem like a not brilliant plan. Not super sure why people choose to play Conjurers. Anyone else think I should have moved directly into cover? Because I definitely should. Oh. Yeah, but you just love cover. You love cover so much. Why don't you marry it? Is that trash or a lootable object? Nope. Okay. Oh, don't tell me it was worth nothing the whole time. I think we learned nothing from this, and that whole experience was a waste. Ooh. Autosave. The engineer, huh? 744? No. That's disappointing. There's no, like, key? Alright, fearless leader. There isn't anything subtle about what we're gonna do when I mean that. They're gonna hear this explosion back at the Croix Bazaar. That means when this thing goes off, it's go time. We need to get to the engineer before he slips away. If we lose him, we won't find him again. I'm ready. Do it. We'll want to stand back a bit, she says after it explodes. In there, that's our man. What, that guy? Look at me, I'm in cover. Negative 10 to hit, or... Alright, Deadeye shot, that's what we could enjoy. Good. Oh. Can you do it again, but better? That was better. Still not good, gotta tell you. Oh boy. Okay. God bless a ley line in the right location, but still. Okay. Doors there. Ley lines are there, so they can probably move in this direction. The engineer run out in that direction? We'll have to fight through him anyway, okay. Okay. Enforcer, mage, lieutenant. No, move into cover. Sorry. Eight. 60. Oh, wrong weapon. Okay. Wall lightning. Suggest their AP. Good. That's what I wanted to happen. Whew. Okay, that's going pretty well, I'd say. They're still stunned, so... Oh, not stunned, okay. Back into cover. Take down the mage. Honestly, the larger array of spells is very much helping. Line of sight? Who needs it? Mana burn. Rats. Oh, cool, okay. We did 5, heal. Reload. Cooldown's still going. Check Pendrolin. Cooldown's off. Nothing to heal, so... So he's gonna immediately... Overwatch? No? Okay. No line of sight. Okay. Well, just wait. I'm entirely sure why you thought that would work. I mean, am I ridiculous to be getting smug about cover now, or? Honestly, seems like asking for trouble, right? If I get smug about cover? So it's still a chase scene. The engineer must survive. Yeah, because we gotta stun him. That's right. Extremely close range, huh? Incoming damage reduced. That's not what we need. Something that reduces AP. Pierces armor, critical damage. That's not going to help. Rats. Oh, gee, look, what the fuck? Do you think we fucked this up? Doing me a heckin' concern. Maybe, if we're really lucky, he just runs to a place to hold up and we can just fight our way through. That's a possibility, right? Some could say that's even a highly likely possibility. And then afterwards, they're going to give us all, like, cookies. This is dumb. Shouldn't have gone that far. Oh, wow, okay. Right, enemies were ready, waiting to shoot us. Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. Fuck. Come on. Come on, Iga. Fuck. Whoa. Just sounds so vicious, you know? Really put that new heel through its paces. The best type of cover. A lamppost. He escaped. He's the cyberware deactivated, dude. How did you not think of that? I mean, it was fine. You said it's incredibly short range. Shit. What's a way to do this? It's curious. Yes, chat, this is an opportunity to say if you've got a walkthrough open and you're like, I've got a solution, I am all ears. Not the cred stick. For one, we can not start a fight with these people for no reason, given it gives us nothing. That sounds highly uncomfortable. 366, no we don't. I was wondering if we had enough if I sold one or two things. That's alright, comrade. In a good way? Thanks. No, don't have enough to buy 5 strength, I think it was. Intelligence, that's not going to help because we need to get decking up to crack the door. Willpower's maxed. Go on, we love that. Don't have... We had 2 more, we could get the etiquette for street. So close. Oh, thanks. Oh, not even an easier time if I has a flashbang. I didn't. Whoops. I'm just gonna cheat. I know the door code 2924. Cheat. Read a walkthrough. It's funny that the motorbike doesn't have anything to do with it. Like, that would help us run down the engineer, right? Try inputting a code. 2924? The door locks. How convenient. Pew. Thank you. That's enough. Like, you can't get the door code by any way other than blowing it up, so... Other than... In there, that's our man. Well, I don't think he's turned on us yet, so... They're both medium cover, okay. 60%, 79. Immediately turn on. %53% chance. 73% chance. 93. Cool. 5 HP around? Yeah, they're dead. What? The fuck do you mean? What do you mean he immediately noticed? That was the whole point, I guess. Lightning bolt? Lightning is pretty loud. When does he turn on us? First turn? I don't know. I don't know. I'll give it one more try. See if this is a stealthy way. Yeah, because combat starts immediately. And there, that's how I meant. How about we just fucking run? How about we just run? Give me a sec. Okay. We may need to take break a little early, my friends. So what we're going to do is just hold it here. We'll be back in 15 or so, maybe a little bit longer than normal, okay? And we're back. So we're Shadowrun, it's just minimized. I believe our plan was, what if we just fucking run? Yeah, I wanted to go settle a baby K. And Mr. Stitches is like, alright, I've been trying to transfer him for a while now. Call in the cavalry. Which is exactly what I want to happen. Anytime a parent is like, look, I'm getting really tired of this shit or something, you go, great, I'm gonna go help. Also, Emma Stitches didn't say that. But, you know, that's why you have assistants. Fuck you. Honestly. If he spawns at the same place, then it was completely pointless. And we have learned nothing. Oh god. And he just runs and there's literally no way around it. Oh, fuck. What do you think? Is he going to spawn in the same spot? I love that Contra immediately gets killed by their own summon. That's funny. Yeah, he spawns in the exact same spot. It's completely fucking pointless. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? My god. -1 AP. Checked out that walkthrough. I opened it up to get phosphorus. No. Oh, -1 AP. Oh, they come too, huh? Alright, great. Fuck. 3 armor, HP damage, health, nothing. We might need to go before we left on the mission, take an AP grenade, like a stun grenade, and any other stunning spell. Oh, he's fucking gone. He'll simply wait for you until you exit the warehouse. Engineer will flee towards his motorcycle. Don't attack him. Killing him will fail it. Immediately moves close and throw a flashbang grenade. Flee surprisingly slowly? I don't think so. No. Okay. Walkthrough's like, yeah. Tells me like you can work through the walk through the warehouse at your speed. That's good. Don't let him escape. And then I think it's get lucky with lightning bolt and shotgun blast. It also means we can loot the warehouse. Okay. I'm not afraid of challenge. I'm really not. The thing I am afraid of the most is boring you lot. So. Fascinated to consider which source Comrade is lost in, though. That sounds fun. Go on, summon your thing. Oh no, it didn't immediately turn on you? How disappointing. Oh, good. Smoking Joe. Ooh, boy. Okay, bye. Should have known, really. Like, we spent ages, the previous one. We got the whole stat block? Fantastic. Fuck you. Okay. Good. That's what you want to see. Nothing yet. Cool. So you can also save in combat, as we discovered. Yeah, there's no enemies there. There's one there, though. You'll just take too much damage, so... You should reload everything. No, that's terrible. Okay. Fuck, man. a lot of damage to just toss at someone like that. We are essentially going to, like, call it save scum, but it's not the next fight. When we deal with this guy, and before we move outside, I'm going to just save game. Nice. And if we fail to stun him, I'm going to load game and then try to stun him again, because we need to, right? And it's better than going all the way back here. Cool. Which is not leaving combat the way I'd like. What's that? Lightning damage. What's that? Kneecap. Cool. We haven't died yet. Good. Dinner's good. Enjoy it. Anything in this drone panel? No? Nothing? Okay. We haven't been quite as successful as I'd hoped, though. Alright. Quick save, baby. Don't fuck this up, alright? Shame none of these, like, kneecaps him. This kneecaps him. Maybe you don't give him a turn right away. Like, that's always an option, right? Ball lightning the fucker. Come on. -2 AP. We did it. HP. Well, we stunned him. Like, lightning is -1 AP per round, so... We're certainly getting closer to getting him. What do you mean? Can't believe I'm save scumming like this. Just don't want to do the whole thing. This is my greatest challenge because I didn't take. Still can't get that far. Oh, fuck off. Okay, use one. Yay! It's fine, you know? Like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to fucking kill you. Because you're making everything so hard on me. Don't do it. You know what I'm hearing in my head really loudly? Get into cover. Somehow flushed him out of cover, so I don't hate that. Huh. AP for you. 71%, 40, 60. Goddamn. Just don't have a mid-range weapon for you, do we? Mana burn, HP 10 per round? Come on. Come on. Help me drag this guy back to the warehouse. We're gonna find out what he knows. Engineer lies splayed out on the ground, his body trembling violently. Tiger shoves the bottle up his nose and squeezes. Engineer shudders violently, and then the trembling begins to subside. She glances at you. And it was all BZD to help treat the seizures. Bannock was kind enough to include it in his goodie bag. Won't last long, but it should give Yuli here enough muscular control to answer a few questions. Engineer's voice comes out in a trembling stutter. Fuck you, troll. Tiger raises an eyebrow. See, he's talking already. Engineer's eyes burn with hate. Beads of sweat dot his brow as he struggles to control the tremors that rack his body. Takes a deep breath, holds it, and releases it slowly. The trembling begins to subside. I'm sorry we had to use that thing on you. It must be terrible, having the shakes like that. It is. He grinds his teeth. Is that what you want to hear? Slowly, the orc's eyes shift from Iger to you. I know the troll, bitch. We have history. But you are a stranger to me. Are you sure that you have the stomach for this, stranger? Not many do. My name is Pendrolin, and you're going to answer our questions one way or the other. Just keep telling yourself that, elf. His voice sounds stronger now. The stutter that marred his speech has almost completely faded away. He wasn't telling himself. She slaps him across the face, splitting his lip down the middle. The impact sounds like a gunshot. He was telling you. Iger leans in toward the engineer. He recoils, grinding the back of his head against the grease-stained Duraplast tiles. You're helpless. A fucking cripple. Her voice comes out in a snarl. But if you answer our questions, things will go easier for you. So tell us, whose payroll are you on? She grabs a fistful of the orc's hair and lifts his head. Her face is inches from his. Tell us who sent you to Shadow Nest. There's a long pause. Eventually, the engineer looks away. All right. You want to know so badly, I'll tell you. Tamanus sent me here. He wanted me to use the Shadow Nest as base of operations in Berlin. My point of contact is a ghoul named Beetle. leans forward and looks eyes with Iger. There, you got your intel. Now set me free or kill me. Yuli. Iger leans back, shaking her head. You wouldn't roll over on an employee this easily. Your rep tells us that much. He raises an eyebrow in a look of meek astonishment. No? No? No, Iger's right. You're joking us around. You wanted a name, and I gave you a name. Want more, I can give you those too. I can name you 100 clients who'd love a piece of the shed nest. How do you intend to determine who really sent me? I've got a couple of ideas. Engineer smirks. You can try baiting the truth out of me. You can try cutting on me. Get creative with the pliers if you'd like. If you tell me you hurt me, I'll give you a different name. Torture me, or don't. It'll all end the same way. I'll be dead, you'll know nothing for certain, and my clients will move ahead on schedule. Cooperate. Maybe it doesn't have to end that way. Maybe you'll get out of here alive. He snorts. You think I'm delusional, man? I'm already dead. The she-troll beside you is going to put a bullet in my brain as soon as she gets what she wants. Just look at her. Just take a long look at that ugly troll face. She's just aching to put me in the ground. Iger's hands bunch into fists. She's still smiling, but you can feel the heat of the hatred behind her eyes. You've got bigger issues to worry about than my face, Yuli. If you don't start telling me what I want to hear in the next 30 seconds, this is going to get messy. Another look, Yuli. I'd start talking if I were. The engineer cuts you off. A perverse smile has spread itself across his face. You know, Iger. He takes his time pronouncing the name, savors it. I'd like to tell you a story. We share so much history, you and I. Iger says nothing, but her eyes narrow. The engineer continues, his grin broadening. This is a funny story. It's about your time, the KSK. A story about futility. I can tell you all about the many lives you've touched, how the syndicates touched them again afterward. Would you like that? There's a long pause. Eventually, Iger turns to face you. Pendrolin, do me a favor. Sweep the building for intel. Anything we might have missed on our way in. Yeah, I'm on it. Take good care of our friend here. She took a disgusted glance at your captive. Yeah, I will. No what? Don't worry. I will. Oof. Ooh, barrels. Chemical storage barrels. A light jostle shows that they're completely empty. Courier drone. Looks melted. The cargo container is empty. This generic courier drone has been snapped together out of prefab parts from a dozen different manufacturers. It's a cheap, utilitarian thing, remarkable only in that it is so incredibly plain. A half-bright teenager could cobble something like this together in an afternoon. The drone sits in a charging cradle, its turbofan unpowered. A cheerful green light blinks on its front panel to remind you that it's still active. You can see the silhouette of something under the flimsy plastic dome of the drone's cargo compartment. Whatever this thing was here to deliver, it's still carrying it. Pop the lid. You depress the catch on the container's plastic lid. Rather than swinging open, the lid slides back to reveal a touchpad. Looks as though this thing is password locked. Let's examine the drone more closely. Taking a closer look, you notice something strange. There's a set of electrical contact plates lining the lip of the drone's cargo compartment. It's a fair bet that this thing is outfitted with an anti-tampering system of some kind. 4. Step away. Well, we need a password. Let's go. Corpse. The broken body of a human man lies on the floor. His face is a mess of fresh cuts and congealing blood, and his head is oddly deformed. Despite his wounds, the mouth is twisted into a macabre smile. Inspect. Judging by the shape of the ganger's head, you'd guess that his skull has been fractured in at least 3 places. The center of his forehead is particularly gruesome. It looks soft, as though the skin was stretched like a tent between shards of broken bone. Looking up, you see a great smear of gore on the door of the room that you found him in. The implications are clear. This man bashed his own head in, trying to get out, and he did it with a smile on his face. His hands are badly broken too. You've seen these sorts of injuries after bare-knuckle fistfights, but never anything this severe. This man punched something hard, went on punching until his hands were reduced to useless slabs of meat. Biotech, medical conclusion. Well, you're not good enough at biotech. Oh well. Come on, give us the password to the drones. Smoking Joe. Forklift. Forklift's tires are flat. Looks like it hasn't been used in years. Ooh, ledger. There's a small ledger lying in this crate. The cover is cheap leatherette and the paper is tissue-thin newsprint. The pages are filled with overflowing with handwritten text. You don't recognize the language, but judging by the accent marks, you guess it's Scandinavian tongue. While you can't read it, the arrangement of the text tells you the ledger is primarily being used as an address book. Pocket it and move on. As you approach, you can see the engineer's chest is sheeted with blood. Most of it seems to be streaming from his nose, which has been crushed into a wad of bloody meat. Iga turns to face you, her bunched fists are dripping red. Find anything? She speaks to you through clenched teeth, her voice sounds strained, and her cheeks are flushed. I thought you said that we weren't going to resort to torture. This isn't torture, it's justice. If you knew half of what this bastard had done, if you'd heard the things he just told me, you'd do the same. Beating the tar out of a helpless prisoner isn't justice. Now stand down. She pauses and turns away. Just tell me what you found. Yes, please. The engineer's voice is thick and wet. He smiles through a set of gore-streaked teeth. Found this ledger. Don't recognize the language, but it looks Scandinavian. Iga leafs through the journal, quickly flipping the soy calf-stained pages. Norwegian, maybe? I'm thinking that this is written in Bokmal. She frowns. I can't read it, but it looks like a shipping manifest. Yeah, something like that. There are a lot of addresses in there. She riffles through the pages, flipping the sheet paper with her thumbnail. Looks like addresses all the way through. Some are annotated, but I can't see any names. 2/3 of the way through the book, she stops short. Find something interesting? Wait till see she turns the journal around. The top of the page, written in a different hand, is a single word. It's written in English, but you can understand it all the same. Wednesday? She nods. Yeah, not particularly helpful without a full date, but I guess it's something. Of course, Wednesday might not refer to a day of the week at all. It could be code for something. Taken out of context like this, it's impossible to say. So what do you make of this? This should be good. Iga ignores him. Her gaze remains fixed on the book. Could be nothing. Could mean that he's back in bed with the Lobachevsky syndicate. The engineer holds the silence. Say nothing. Did you find anything else? I need to be sure about this before moving forward. Found a body in the other room. From the looks of him, he tried using his head to beat down a steel-reinforced door. Interesting, but not unusual in these parts. There are all kinds of drugs that can make a person act that way. Most of them are not even hard to get in a place like Shatnest. Have you found anything else? Must have missed something. I'll keep searching. I think Wednesday is a password. Plastic lid of the cargo container pops open with a click. Inside, you find what appears to be a homemade SimSense chip. It sits securely in a custom plastic bracket. Take the chip. Pop the chip out of the bracket and pocket it. A few seconds later, an angry hissing sound comes from somewhere deep within the drone. Step back. You step away from the drone, the hissing sound grows into a roar. Bright white sparks spit out from the drone's melting chassis and streak across the room. You've seen this kind of reaction before. Thermite. Whoever built the drone must have wired it with a self-destruct device. Within seconds, all that's left of the little drone is a molten wreck on the charging cradle. Foul-smelling smoke pours from the remains. Steal another glance at the chip you recovered and turn away. I got a chip. What's the SimSense? Corey, help. You repair a courier drones in the other room. No markings, they look custom built. One of them had been slagged, but the other had this chip in its storage compartment. When you produce the chip, the engineer's eyes widen suddenly. He turns his head and coughs rack his body. Interesting. This means something to you, Yuli? Yeah, Iga takes the chip from you and holds it up to the light. No identifying markings. I've seen enough BTLs in my time to know one when I see it, but this one is different. It's been modified somehow. Go ahead and slot it, bitch. It'll take you on the ride of your life. Iga raises an eyebrow. Smack him for me, will you? I'm busy. Iga, refresh my memory. What's a BTL? You don't get out much, do you? A BTL is the kind of SimSense chip stands for better than life. They're cheap, easy to find, and incredibly addictive. People have died of dehydration while riding BTL highs. It's pretty common on the streets. I just stay plugged in until our bodies give out. Not a pretty way to go, believe me. And speaking of which, look at Yuli's temples. See that sweat beating up? I said that our friend here has developed himself a habit. You don't know what you're holding, slag. He spits the words out like venom. His eyes are locked on the chip in Iger's hands. Slowly, he licks his lips. You don't deserve to touch that chip. I think that you're right, Iger. My friend here is an addict. The engineer glances at you with a snarl. Fuck you. The thing is, I know our friend's rep, and I'm telling you, he's much too careful to get himself addicted to Sims. He glances at the engineer. His eyes are locked on the chip. If this thing's have him hooked this badly, they must be even more addictive than standard BTLs. That's a frightening thought. You're telling me. The last thing we need is more sim junkies on our street. She turns to face the engineer. You got anything to add to that, Yuli? You've no idea how wrong you are about all of this. He struggles to rise from the floor, but his muscles refuse to cooperate. Finally, he gives up with a scowl. If I could move my arms, I'd take that chip from you and show you what it does. I'm sure that you would. So he glances over his shoulder at you. Good fine, Pendrolin. We're stuck a nerve. Any other thoughts? Yeah, actually. I think I might know where that other chip went. Remember that body I found in the other room? Yeah, good thought. Go check it out, but be quick. I don't know how long it'll be before we have company here. I'm on it. Search for the missing chip. Peeling back a patch of matted hair, you find something a casual viewer might have missed. The man had a chip jack. It's a cheap model, sufficient for loading SimSense chips and BTLs, but little else. It doesn't take much effort for you to pry it open. Inside the chip jack, you find a glob of plastic. It looks as though whatever this guy was running melted down sometime after he soldered it. A chip jack like this couldn't generate enough heat to destroy a SimSense chip. The only logical conclusion is that the chip itself was wired to melt down after use. Take the burned out chip and leave. Ugh. Engineer's eyes remain locked on the chip. His face has gone pallid white and his shirt is drenched with sweat. His eyes bulge and his breathing is heavy. Find what you're looking for? Yeah, I pried his chip jack open and found a blob of melted plastic inside. It was still warm to the touch. Hager examines the remnants of the chip in your fingers. I've heard of things like this before. Single-use Sims designed to self-destruct after they're slotted. Keeps the customers from using the same BTL over and over again. I said that you found our missing chip. Yeah, I agree, but the ganger who slotted this wasn't blissed out like a normal sim junkie. It was almost the opposite. He looked wild, like a madman. Madman. The engineer lets out a chuckle. It's a horse barking sound. You don't know a damn thing. Why don't you educate us? The chip doesn't drive you insane. It opens your eyes. His voice grows in volume, becomes ragged. Slot one, and you become a god. Engineer stares at him, her expression flat. Engineer sneers. I, too, was a skeptic, and then the wolf caught me, and the raven opened my eyes, and now at last I can see. Suddenly he lurches forward. Every muscle in his body goes tight, and the cords stand out on his neck. Give me the chip. It was promised to me. I need it. Tell us who you're working for, and it's all yours. The engineer spits out a mouthful of blood. It hits the tile floor with a sickening splat. He grinds his teeth and snarls out a single word. Winter night. There's a moment of silence. Finally, Iger speaks. Never heard of them. Of course they haven't, bitch. If you had, you'd already be dead. They don't leave loose ends. His body begins to tremble. Looks like the drugs are wearing off. They have the money, she troll. Money and influence, enough to put the syndicates to shame. Even I cannot say how much, but I know that what I've seen is just the tip of the spear. All right, let's say that you're telling the truth and some sort of secret society is behind this. What do they want with the Shatter Nest? They do not tell me these things. All I know is they want to store things here. Crates, boxes, shipped in from all over. No cargo inspections and no traces back to them. What are they shipping in? Weapons, drugs, more of these BTLs? He eyes her incredulously. You think I asked them? It's not my place to know. All that I know is what was promised me. Give me the chip. His voice comes out in a shivering screech. You promised. He promised you the chip. Iga smiles at the engineer. Slowly, she pulls a knife from her belt. Its serrated edge glints in the night. I, on the other hand, didn't offer you a goddamn thing. She's got you there. Iga leans in to look at the engineer in the eye. She grins. Goodbye, Yuli. She plunges her blade into the engineer's throat. The orc lets out a startled gurgling sound, thrashes, and dies. Iga wipes her hands clean and looks up, an expression of grim satisfaction on her face. Well, that takes... I'm dropping Iga's voice. My throat's getting ragged. Well, that takes care of that. Thanks for the assist, fearless leader. No problem, but we aren't done yet. We still have Winter Night to deal with. Can't do it, fearless leader. What you're suggesting is beyond the scope of our capabilities. I don't have any contacts in Norway. We wouldn't even know where to begin looking for Winter Night. And if we found them, what then? The two of us aren't going to stop an international conspiracy on our own. We're good, but we're not that good. You got a point there. We'll let the Flux State handle it. Grats for dinner. Photos of Discord? Good call. That's just one more thing that I want to do before we head home. She gestures at the engineer's lifeless body. Yeah, that corpse is moving a lot. Still need to search a bastard. Who knows? Maybe he's got some additional evidence on him. Or in him. Could be that he has high headwear storage. We won't know until we go digging. Alright, let's get this over with. Time passes. The job is long and unpleasant, but eventually you find something. A hidden storage compartment in one of the engineer's cyber arms. To activate it as a cyberware is, it takes some prying to get it open, but Iga leans in and puts some muscle into it. With a metallic snapping sound, the compartment yawns open. Yeah, comrade, what happens? Iga reaches in and pulls out a cylindrical object about the size of a beer can. She inspects it. A smile creeps across her face. What the hell is that? She holds the object up for your inspection. This, my friend, is a pulse grenade. Last I heard, the Russian military were developing them as crowd dispersal devices, but that was years ago. Looks like Yuli kept a memento of his time in the Spetsnaz. Damn it! I'd love a mid-range weapon for Iga. She examines the grenade with a critical eye. Looks like typical Russian engineering. Clunky, but functional. If I took this thing apart, I bet I could figure out how they made it. Anything else in there? She dips her hand in the secret compartment one more time. No, not that I can... Without warning, the engineer's cyber arms begin to twitch. His body bucks convulsively, while his dead eyes stare straight ahead. Iga snatches her hand back and steps backward. What the hell? The engineer's body surges inward, a violent convulsive motion. His eyes bulge out of his skull, and his chest evaporates in a spray of light. As you watch, the chemical fire that rages from the engineer's body blackens his flesh and spits sparks across the room. It's the same reaction you saw when the drone went up. A thermite reaction. His employers, Winter Night, they must have implanted that thing in him. Yeah, must have. I'm willing to bet that if we hadn't used a cyberware deactivator on him, he'd gone up before he had the chance to spill any names. If you're looking for further proof, I think that this was it. Yeah, it looks that way. Let's go. People need to know about this. Well, we didn't let him escape. Another further illusion of choice is that we choose whether Iga kills him or not, and it doesn't matter. The U-Bahn whisks you back towards the Kreutz Bazaar, Iga standing by your side. The image of the engineer's body disintegrating in flame replays itself over and over in your mind. The bright flash, a shower of sparks, overpowering stench of sizzling meat. A blue-green after-image hangs suspended in the center of your field of vision, and it refuses to be blinked away. From what Iga told you, the engineer was a menace, an international criminal at the top of his game, and as you watch, he was consumed from within by a device that marked him as disposable. The rattle of the U-Bahn car coming to a halt shakes you from your reverie. You're home. Jeez. Playing this on normal difficulty too, it gets harder. I don't understand, right? Come again. There's more. Street, which is different to gang. New etiquette at 8. New etiquette at 10. New etiquette at 12. Just don't think that's going to happen. Someone should be saying something like, maybe you should increase your body so you don't die that quickly. But what if I didn't? You're not level 6 yet? Alright. Saying that? Thinking that? I have made my choice, yes. Can't respend karma. Hey, this guy. Welcome back, runner. See you around. Don't know why I assumed we'd get another side quest. Maybe Glory's got a side quest for us now. We love side quests. Live my dreams is right. Damn right. Who needs hit points when you've got save states? Stella's. Oh. Nope. Shadowrun BBS? We got nothing. Okay. Debrief, Aga. Aga welcomes you with a nod. Pendrolin, what can I do for you? Have you ever heard of an organization called the Lodge? Afraid not. If it's a Berlin, then you might be better off talking to one of the others. They've all been here longer than I have. Talk about what happened with the engineer. She nods. Agreed. I'm ready to go over it if you are. The engineer was working for a secret society. I wasn't expecting that. Neither was I. She frowns. Part of me is still having trouble believing it, but it's true. Yuli wasn't lying. I could see it in his eyes. When I left that room to search for clues, the engineer told you something. Something that pushed you over the edge. An eye's arrow. Her eyes narrow. Nice arrow. That son of a bitch said a lot of things. What of it? You knew that we needed him, but you beat him badly. I'm worried about that lapse of control. You need to be. There's nothing wrong with my self-control. I made a choice to unload on Yuli because he's a murderous asshole. I knew how much pressure to apply, which bones to break, and which ones to leave alone, and I did all of those things. But why? What did he tell you to push you to that point? It takes her a long time to respond. When she does, her voice carries a tone of resignation. You really want to know? All right, fine, I'll tell you. He told me about a bunch of Polish towns that my unit sweat for syndicate activity. He told me how the mob poured back in right after we left, and what they did to the people who'd accepted our help. He told me about the beatings, the rapes, the killing rooms, the torture, and worse. He relished in describing it, the relentless, hideous barbarism of it all meant to teach me some sort of lesson. I think that's the cruelest part of this entire story. Those people, they didn't need a lesson in how terrible life can be. They live with that every day. You seem to find all of this hilarious. Yeah, I know he was pushing my buttons on purpose. And yeah, I know that he was trying to make me lose control, but the hell with it. He deserved a good beating. Yuli didn't pull any punches, so I didn't pull any punches. If you have a problem with that, you can go and get fucked. My problem isn't with Yuli getting punished, it's with the fact that you let him play you. Maybe, but I can't ignore the possibility that he wasn't playing me, that these things did happen. She grits her teeth. That'd be a bitter pill to swallow, Pendrolin. If I leave things where they stand, there'll always be some hope that he was lying. But if I dig into this and find out that he was telling the truth, if I find out that none of what we did meant anything, you can't leave it like this, a question mark. I know you, Iga. You're too strong to run from the truth. I'm not running from anything, fearless leader. I'm going to look into this wherever it leads me. She looks you in the eye, but I'm not going to do it today. When you're ready to start looking, you can call on me for help. I've got your back, Iga. She nods. I know it, and I'm glad. Let's change tack. Is there anything else on the run you'd like to go over? She folds her arms over her chest. If you have any thoughts, I want to hear them. Have you been able to do any digging on Winter Night? No. There just isn't much reliable information out there. Whoever these guys are, they're very good at information control. None of my contacts could find anything but rumor and conjecture, and most of that is too crazy to consider. How crazy are we talking here? Completely insane. Stories about magical nukes, the end of the world, Fenris shamans, Ragnarok, that kind of thing. She shakes her head. Like I said, nuts. Maybe they're running a disinformation campaign, planting strange rumors to create plausible deniability. That's what I was thinking, yeah. Corporations and governments do it all the time. Why not these guys? Anyway, we stopped in Cold and Shatternest. Whatever the business is, whatever it was going to be in those crates the engineer was having shipped in there, it isn't our problem anymore. The Quartz Bazaar is safe, on that front at least. Yeah, it is, and we've got you to thank for that. Hey, you, don't downplay what you did back there. Anyway, we shouldn't let it go to our heads. Still have a dragon to worry about. You said that you thought you could reverse engineer that pulse grenade that you pulled from the engineer. Any luck with that? Yeah, actually. It wasn't too difficult to pull the thing apart and see what made it tick. She smiles. Making my own was a different story, but I got it in the end. She reaches into her desk and grabs a cylindrical object. Gently, she lifts it up and hands it to you. Meet the newest addition to my arsenal. We call it the voltaic grenade. It's based on the same principles as the Russian pulse grenade, but with a few tweaks of my own. Nice. You said those things were designed for crowd control. Originally, yeah. Might as well bite, though. Bumped up the amperage quite a bit. When that thing goes off, it'll both shut down the nervous system and cook the organs of anyone in its blast radius. Hand back the grenade. Sounds nasty. She nods and tucks the weapon back into her desk. It is. You wouldn't want to be in the wrong end of one of these. For now, I've only managed to make one voltaic grenade. Not the cheapest things in the world to manufacture, or the cheapest, easiest thing to manufacture. The newest addition to my arsenal. I mean, that's a good evening. But I should be able to scrounge up enough raw materials to put a new one together between each run. So, well, it's better than nothing, I suppose. A hell of a lot better than nothing. If used in the right situation, one of these things could turn the tide of an otherwise unwinnable firefight. It's nothing to scoff at, Pendrolin. Hey, I'll take it. Talk about someone else? I don't have anywhere to be. That's all. Whew. The newest edition! Glory favors you with a weak smile, her expression cautious. You're suddenly aware of how very small she is. Hoy, Pendrolin, I've got to admit I've been dreading this. So now that you know what I've done, what I am, are you here to tell me off? I wouldn't blame you if you were. No, Glory, I'm not here to tell you off. Truth be told, I wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Not great. Struggling. About how you'd expect. We left off in a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story and I have a question for you. Yeah, what's that? You got out of Feuerstale, but Harrow's cult is still up and running, right? Still full of kids who are being brainwashed and worse? So shouldn't we do something about that? She holds the silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Yes, I've been thinking about this for a long time, Pendrolin, and every time I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing, but I can't do it alone. I'm going to need your help. That's the idea. All right, if we're going to do this, we need to be clear on what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place, lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. But then there's also Haru to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it. And if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, if he runs, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else where we can't find him, and all of this will be for nothing. We're likely to run into other complications as well, so I think that we need to make a decision up here, up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids or take down Harrow? I don't think that we can manage both. Thanks. Freeing the kids should be our first priority. We raid Fyrstel, round up the runaways, and clear Harrow's influence from their minds. Killing him will have to be secondary. I hate giving Harrow the chance to escape, but you're right, saving the kids is what's important. She pauses, considering her choice, and a smile flits across her lips. This feels like the path to redemption. This feels right. Glad to hear that we're in agreement. When you're ready to go, meet me at the van. It's a long drive from here to the Schornbusch. She nods. Right, I'll get my things. Oh, and thanks, Pendrolin, for everything. Are we taking anyone else? Because I think we're not, are we? Oh, cool. I'm glad it's not a binding choice. Do we keep the van down here? Take the van. Great. Maybe I should buy a stun grenade. Oh, she's got one. Jeez. Just in case any of those children get uppity. Fyrstel. The drive from the Cruise Bazaar to the Schönberg forest was a long one. For over 6 hours, you and Glory rode in relative silence with only the sounds of the road for company. Now you find yourself crouching in the woods, watching, waiting. Off in the distance, the rustic exterior of the Fyrstel looks curiously warm and inviting, but you know what's waiting inside. Anticipation churns at your guts like a living thing. Eventually, a van pulls out a compound's driveway and rolls out along a service road before disappearing from view. Glory gives you a nod and begins to scramble forward. Harrow has left the building. It's time for you to make your way inside. Seems binding, given, like... I feel like you've told me that before. Whoopsie. The withered edifice of the Fyrstel looms above you, dark and sinister in the light, chill night air. Despite the horrifying stories that Glory told you about this place, something about it feels strangely comforting. In the back of your mind, insidious voices whisper that you could stay here forever. Do you feel it? The lure of this place? Glory gestures with a limb of chrome and steel. When I was a kid, when I was whole, the pull was irresistible. Yeah, I feel it, but that doesn't change what we have to do. No, no, it doesn't. She looks up at you and her eyes are dark. When she speaks again, her voice is quiet but steady. You're going to see some terrible things in this place, Pendrolin. Fyrstel exists to prey on the young, and we're going to have to come face to face with that. Are you sure that you're prepared for this? When you say the young, how young do you mean? I need to know what we're walking into. Teenagers mostly, 16 through 18, though there is a rare exception. That's young enough to make you feel uneasy. She nods. Me too, but we're going to put an end to it one way or another. So I ask again, are you ready for this? I need an honest answer. Don't worry about me, I'm solid. She studies your face for a moment longer, then looks away. Good, good. You want to compare notes, make sure we're both on the same page? She nods. We save the street kids and runaways that are living here. We take them away from this place before Harrow can turn them into monsters. We keep them from following in my footsteps. We rescue the kids here, yeah, but I think we should also try to kill Harrow. Planning on that would be a mistake. This is going to be difficult enough, as is. If we don't focus our efforts on one thing or the other, we're going to fail at both. If we get an opportunity to take the bastard down along the way, we'll take it. That goes without saying, but barring that, we should stay focused on getting those kids out of there. Fair enough. We stick with the plan and rescue the cultists. Do you know how you want to approach this? Harrow keeps a shrine in the compound. It's the key to his control over the cultists. We're going to purify the shrine and break that control, and then we're going to lead those kids out of here. Okay, so we need to find a shrine and what, perform some kind of ceremony? Something like that, but it'll be more complicated than it sounds. The shrine itself is just a hunk of rock. Its power comes from an entity that Harrow bound into the stone, something very old and very dangerous, a toxic spirit. It is in many ways the heart of this place. The voices that you can hear whispering in the back of your mind, those are the spirit's voices. It saps the will of anyone who steps foot on these grounds. We can't save those kids until the shrine is dealt with. They'll fight us if we try. Confront the shrine, purify the spirit, rescue the cultists. Got it. Let's move. She nods, and the razors flick out of her fingertips. I'm with you. Let's do it. Nice. Keep Glory safe instead of Glory must survive. That's interesting. Doorway shimmers with a faint red light. As you approach the door, you can feel a squirming sensation in the back of your skull. Your limbs begin to tingle and feel heavy. The closer that you get to the doorway, the more of a struggle it is to continue moving forward. It feels as though the strength is being siphoned from your body. Fight through it. You grit your teeth and lean forward, forcing your heavy limbs to move through sheer force of will. As you near the doorknob, it begins to glow red. Crackling sparks leap from glowing brass, and the crisp smell of ozone fills the air. Reach for the doorknob. You wrestle an arm up from where it hangs at your side and reach for the sparking doorknob. A moment later, you feel a cold metal hand grasp your shoulder. Glory. She speaks a single word. Don't. Step back. As you step away from the door, the crawling sensation gradually recedes. A moment later, the strength returns to your limbs. Glory stares into the light, frowning. The shrine room is through there, but this barrier wasn't here before. Harrow must have warded the doorway after I ran. How do we get through? The ward is like a lock. There must be a key. Back when I helped Harrow run this place, he and I were the only ones who were allowed in the shrine room. So we look for whoever has taken my place. That's where the key will be. Hell, we know who that is. It'll be a girl. Harrow will never take a male as his second. He wouldn't want the competition. And her hair will be fire red. It's a sort of insignia of rank within the cult. A girl with red hair, got it. Quick save. Damn, won't let me open the door again. You can hear a distant murmuring sound coming from inside the room. Voices, 3, maybe 4 people, all talking amongst themselves. Can't make out what they're saying, but one of the voices sounds desperate. You've heard the tone before. Sound of a man pleading for his life. We should keep moving. Whatever's going on in there, we don't want to get involved. One of the cultists in there could have the key that we need? Maybe, but that's a big if. I guarantee you that if we open that door, they're going to attack us, key or no. Then we'll have no choice but to kill them. Remember that there are people we're here to save. I don't want to hurt them if we don't have to. At the very least, we should search through the rest of the compound first. Put your ear to the door. I'm not leaving without knowing what's going on in that room. You strain your ears to hear what the other people in the other room are saying. As you focus, the sounds crystallize and become clear. You shouldn't have come here. The tools of the government aren't welcome at the Firestill. You hear a soft sound. You recognize it instantly. A blade being drawn from its sheath. We have a use for people like you. Please, think about this. I have kids at home not much younger than you. The voice is low and full of dread. I'm not here to represent any government. I'm not a threat to you. I was only doing my job. You're wearing a uniform? That makes you a tool and a pawn and our enemy. Harrow said so. I'm just a park ranger. I'm only here to do a wildlife survey. I don't even know that you people were out here. But now you do. And if you leave this place, others will find out. You brought this on yourself. No, please. The voice dissolves into a long, piercing scream. You're right. We can't afford to help this man. That sucks. Hear voices speaking in low tones through the wood of the door. You can't make out the words, but the regular choruses of rough laughter tell you that the people on the other side of the door are enjoying themselves. These voices belong to Harrow's acolytes. They'll have some magical training and they like hurting people. You open that door, we're going to have a fight on our hands. How do you know that they're acolytes? Process of elimination. Initiates aren't allowed in that room is one of Harrow's rules. On the rare occasion that an initiate is invited in, he usually doesn't come back out again. What happens in there? Her mouth tightens. It's a sort of lounge for Harrow's inner circle, the acolytes and the bait girls and Harrow's wives. Marta and I used to spend a lot of time in there. Ugh, walk away. Let's keep moving. Choose the correct door. A van. Perfect. Glory pauses at the side of the van. She traces the side of it with a claw. I remember cruising the back alleys of Tübingen, looking for kids in need of help. The bait girls, Marta and others like her, would offer them money or food or drugs or sex, whatever it took to get them in the van. And once they piled in, Harrow and I would be waiting to greet them. I remember so many nights like that. She frowns. I remember how much I used to enjoy it. Coming back here shows integrity, Glory. Most runners that I know wouldn't have done what you're doing tonight. Left to my own devices, I probably wouldn't have. You pushed me to do this, to find some semblance of redemption. I owe you for that. You don't owe me anything. She shrugs. Tell yourself whatever you like. We both know the truth. Come on, let's keep moving. Jeez, Glory, you got some dark shit going on, right? This is the Initiate's dormitory. The new arrivals are brought here. There's still hope for these kids, Pendrolin. Harrow hasn't had a chance to ruin them yet. Good to know. We'll try to get them out of here. Glory raises a hand, suddenly alert. Wait, listen. Movement in the other room. Listen. You strain your ears to listen. Soft voices from inside the room come drifting out of a nearby vent. You hear a woman's voice. The sound is crisp and smooth and sweet, and it instantly puts you at ease. Calm now, dear. It's probably nothing. No need to worry yourself. We're so far off the beaten track. We don't get a lot of visitors. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see Glory's back stiffen. She flinches, as though she's been stung. Another voice, high-pitched and pleading, an adolescent boy. But what if it is someone? What if the bad people have found us? What if they followed me here and they've come to... The female voice cuts in, soft and comforting. Well, then we'll send them away. You're perfectly safe here. You have to believe that. Don't worry, dear heart. Harrow won't let anyone hurt you. Not here, in this place. Not ever again. You hear another boy's voice. This one is deeper. Are you certain, Marta? Positive. Be calm, all of you. As long as you're here with us, nothing bad will ever happen to you. It's her, the girl that lured you here. She gives a curt nod. That's right, Marta. The bait that Harrow used to draw me to this place. What do you want to do? Glory pauses, grits her teeth. Finally, she spits out an answer. If she's still here, she'll be Harrow's number one. My old position. He had his way with all of us, but he was always sweet on Marta. That means she'll have a key to the shrine room. In that case, we're going to have to find a way to get it away from her. Yes, but not here and not now. Those kids in there, they'd all die for her. They already love her. That's what she does. We can't risk confronting her in that room. If the situation turns ugly, any one of those kids will happily eat a bullet for her, and that's not what I came here to do. You're right. I came here to save those kids, not get them killed. We'll wait until Marta leaves and follow her. Glory nods her assent. Marta's voice floats back out through the vent. Hush now, boys, and get some rest. You've got a big day tomorrow, the biggest day of your lives. You get to meet Harrow. I promise you, after you speak with him, you'll see the whole world in a different way, a better way. The adolescent voice trembles out a response. All right, Marta. Have a good night. A lovely musical laugh pours through the vent. You too, dear heart. All of you. You hear the distant sound of a door sliding shut. Glory takes a deep breath, then releases it. The coast is clear. We can handle the initiates. They're just a bunch of scared kids. Without Marta there to egg them on, they won't try anything. No time like the present. Hey guys. Just gonna pass through. The initiate closest to the door whips his head up to look at you. He takes a stutter step backward in alarm, then opens his mouth to cry for help. You don't want to do that. Glory looks deep into the initiate's eyes, transfixing him. We're not here to hurt you. Hey, we get to use our new street etiquette. If we wanted to kill you, you'd already be dead. You lived on the street. You know how this works. Slowly, the initiate seems to calm down. Yeah, you're right. But if you don't want to hurt anyone, why are you here? We just want to have a word with Marta. A private word between old friends, understand? The initiate nods. Yeah, that's cool, I guess. Marta is just on the other side of this door. However this goes, we're going to have to move quickly afterward. If she dies, Harrow will know it, and I don't trust her to keep her mouth shut if she lives. So we take the key to the shrine room, break through the ward, and confront a spirit. Are we clear on that? Crystal, let's do this. The woman in this room is lovely. Full lips contrast artfully with her fine elvish features, and a tumble of fire-red hair spills down over her shoulders. Beyond her physical beauty, there's something inherently approachable about her. She exudes an almost palpable aura of kindness and warmth. Marta, Glory's old lover, the lure that Harry used to draw her and so many others to Firesdale. She looks up at the start at the sound of your approach. Her eyes go wide at the sight of Glory as she takes in her cyberware. Her mouth falls open in horror. Glory? Yes, Marta, it's me. Glory's voice is cold. It's been a long time. It has. Marta swallows. The horrified look hasn't left her face. Glory, what have you done to yourself? What I had to do. I got out, Marta. This was the only way. Oh, Glory. All at once, the horror on Marta's face is replaced with an expression of profound sorrow. I am so, so sorry. Marta steps forward, her arms extended to wrap Glory in a hug. All at once, something in Glory's face changes. Her skin goes from pale to pallid, and her breath becomes ragged. She takes a step back and raises her claws into a defensive posture. Her voice frosts over with cold rage. Don't you touch me. You're one of Harrow's creatures. You always were. Marta stopped short. One of his creatures? Glory, what are you talking about? You know what she's talking about, Marta? You ruined her life? Her jaw drops open in shock and her cheeks blush red. Her father ruined her life years before we even met. I didn't do anything. If you just left me when you found me, I never would have hurt anybody. My mother would still be alive. I never would have sold my soul to that abomination that you all worship, and I wouldn't have had to sacrifice my own body to escape from it. This place took everything from me, and it started with you. She looks genuinely hurt. Harrow and I rescued you from a life on the street. A beautiful girl, a homeless, penniless, living in a gutter. I pulled you away from all of that. I saved you. There's a long pause. Gloria stares into Marta's eyes, her expression unreadable. I don't feel much anymore, Marta. Most of the time I'm completely numb. But for you, I can make an exception. I hate you. I'm sorry that you feel that way, Glory. For my part, I still love you. The razors flick out of Glory's fingertips. Her lip curls into a snarl. Another lie. The last one you'll ever tell. I think we should hear her out. Something strange is happening here. She nods eagerly, her eyes fixated on Glory's razors. I'll prove it to you. Ask me anything you want. I'll show you that I'm telling the truth. I never wanted anything bad to happen to you, Glory. Not ever. She wheels to face you. Why are you listening to her? She's just telling you what you want to hear. That's her whole purpose here. Remember, she's bait. Why should we listen to anything that she has to say? These cultists aren't responsible for their actions, remember? That's as true for Marta as it is for everyone else. She was here long before I was, before Harrow started using the shrine. She made her own decisions just like I did. No excuses. She's here because she wants to be. She brought me here because she wanted to. Her choice. You did a lot of terrible things here too. If you can change, so can she. Yes, but she hasn't. She's still luring kids here all these years later. That has to stop. She fidgets in agitation. We're wasting time and we need that key. If Harry gets back here before we've dealt with that shrine, we're fucked. I spent enough time on the street to learn how to read a person. I'm telling you, Marta loves those kids. Bullshit, you're falling into the same trap that I did. Marta holds her to silence. She looks at you with wet, lustrous eyes. I don't think that she wants to hurt anybody, Glory. Some part of her doesn't understand what this place really is. Glory stares at you for a moment, naked hostility on her face. Then the razors slide back into their housings with a click. All right, Marta, convince me. Convince you of what? That I'm not a monster? I don't know how to do that, Glory. You can start by telling me how you sleep at night. You know what happens to the kids that you bring here. You know what happened to me. But you're still luring them here into Harrow's clutches all these years later. So tell me, how do you live with yourself? Explain it to me. For a moment, you can see the conflict behind Marta's eyes. If cognitive dissonance had a face, it would be hers, confused, frightened, angry, at war with herself. For a moment, she struggles to speak. And the whispering sensation that you felt outside of the compound comes back, and her face changes. The muscles of her brow relax, and she appears to be at peace. Why are you asking me this, Glory? You already know the answers. The kids here, they aren't being hurt. They're walking a path to a free and pure life, just like Harrow taught us. The shrine is whispering to her, Glory. I can feel it. She's blissed out on it, like you said. Marta continues, her joyful smile widening. Her voice is placid. Harrow is a great man, a prophet. True, sacrifices have to be made, but what he brings in return, it's so much love, Glory. You remember. Glory grits her teeth but gives you a small nod. Yeah, you're right. After so many years living here, I don't know if she even knows what normal feels like anymore. She steps forward and grabs Marta by the shoulders. It's a curiously soft gesture. Marta, if what you're saying is true, if you ever really did care for me, then please give me your key. It's important. She blinks. Key? Whatever you use to get past the walls outside of Harrow's shrine. I need it. Don't ask why, just do this for me. You owe me that much. She looks momentarily conflicted, and the moment passes. No, Harry said that I had to guard this. He told me that I could never take it off. I can't question one of Harry's orders. It would be wrong. Etiquette. Academic. Don't you see anything ironic about a cult devoted to freedom and rebellion with a totalitarian leader? She blinks. Clearly she didn't understand. Marta, if Harrow actually believed in the rules he's taught you, then he wouldn't have a problem with you questioning his orders. She blinks, and then that whispering sound returns, soft and insistent, and the flicker of unease on her face is being replaced with an easy smile. You just don't understand. You don't see the beauty of Harrow's vision. You don't feel the love. Then maybe you could explain it to me. Maybe if you could answer my questions, I'll be able to see the light. She nods eagerly. Yes. Please go on and ask your questions. I'll explain everything, and you'll see for yourself how perfect and right our way really is, how beautiful it can be. Harrow is hurting the runaways that you bring here. You can see that, can't you? Her smile shifts into an expression of mock concern. Hurting? How so? He's corrupting you all. How many of them has he taken as his wives? Yourself included. She rolls her eyes at you. A lesson in Puritan values from a Shadowrunner. How quaint. I'm not making a value judgment, just an observation. Sex is a pleasurable function of biology. There's nothing wrong with enjoying it. Harrow is only doing what everyone would do if they could. It's a sign of how twisted society is that you think this is even a problem. Something else I'd like to ask you about. Harrow is evil. You get that, right? I mean, he worships the devil. What else do you need? The smile dies on Marta's face. I don't know what Glory told you, but the adversary isn't the devil. Calling him that, reducing him to a cartoonish embodiment of evil, it's an insult. The adversary that I revere is a personification of rebellion, conflict, and change, of anarchy. The fact that you live in Berlin, behold the adversary in contempt proves one of two things. Either you're ignorant or you're a hypocrite. Maybe the adversary isn't evil, but Harrow's interpretation of him certainly is. Her lips curl into a sneer. Harrow warned us about this kind of backward thinking, but I wasn't expecting to hear it from you. I'd always assumed that you Shadowrunners were savvy enough to know that good and evil don't exist. 9 times out of 10 I'd agree with you, but Marta, the adversary is a special case. Somewhere deep down you must know that. Marta sighs, and her voice takes on a condescending tone. I don't have to believe anything you tell me. You don't get to dictate my spiritual beliefs. The fact that you're even trying a sad glory, I expected more from you. I'm done with this. If you want to go on slandering the idol that I serve, do it somewhere else. As for you, you can either change the subject or you can get ready for a fight. I won't hear any more of your blasphemy. Give us the amulet, Marta. It's the right thing to do. Oh yes, she nods eagerly. I'll give it to you. She fishes the amulet out of her blouse. It dangles on a golden chain, glinting in the firelight. Here, it's all yours. Take the amulet. So you reach forward, Marta steps back with the opposite leg, and brings her palm down and overhand slap. Take the blow. You stand firm and let the slap land. Connect somewhere between your neck and your shoulder. To your surprise, you feel an explosion of pain. Marta dances back out of your reach, and the blood spurts from your neck in an arterial spray. A disposable single-edged razor blade. She must have been palming it the entire time you were talking to her, and now it's buried in the meat of your neck. Pendrolin. The razors flick back out of Gloria's fingers. She locks eyes with Marta. I wish that this could have turned out differently, Gloria, but you haven't convinced me of anything save for the fact that you've sacrificed your humanity for nothing. Her smile vanishes. She raises her hands and they begin to glow. I'll defend this key with my life. Harrow taught me how. Jeez, more spam. Well, I feel a little bad that we... I actually feel bad that we didn't manage to see, like, convince her otherwise. Wrong arguments, I guess, huh? Glory stands staring at the red ruin of Marta's body. Her eyes flit down to her claws and an expression of growing horror creeps across her face. You okay, Glory? It takes her a long time to respond. Her voice is choked with long dormant emotion. No, I'm not. I'm sorry, but it had to be done. She snarls out an answer. Her face is flushed red. Yes, I know. She was just as bad as Harrow. Killing her was the right thing to do. To your astonishment, you see that her eyes are welling with tears. Glory. All at once, the blood drains from her cheeks. She wipes the water from her eyes with a cold metal hand. Save your consolation speech. I'm over it. She nods in the direction of the shrine room door. We got what we came for. Let's go finish this. Yeah, I bet, you know. But what if I didn't want to open the doors and have to kill the other initiates? There were probably lots of other doors you could open that didn't start a fight. If it wasn't 7 minutes at the end of tonight's session, I would just do it, you know? Like, restart the mission, try again. As you step forward, the scintillating red light that streams from the doorway flickers and dies. There's a strange lurching sensation in your gut, but it clears almost instantly. A door swings open with a touch. That seems to have done it. Gloria nods and reaches into her satchel. Her hand comes back, clutching a small jar. I'm going to put a smear of this on your forehead. It's a sort of alchemical balm. Her voice goes quiet. Harrow taught me how to make it. She unscrews the cap from the jar, revealing a pale white ointment. The surface glitters strangely in the dim light. If you ever wondered where my share of the take from our jobs has gone, this is the answer. Powdered orichalcum isn't cheap. What does the ointment do? The boundaries between the material world and the astral plane are weak in this place. Things can bleed through. This balm is like a lens. It focuses your perceptions, makes the haze real. She applies a smear of ointment to her forehead. Looks like a glob of glittering white paint. With this, we can deal with the spirit on its own level. Glad you came prepared. She dips her finger back into the balm and traces it down your forehead. The ointment feels cool and oily in your skin. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Lexi. I didn't have much of a choice. There's no way that I could pull this off without alchemical assistance. I wouldn't even want to try. So if that's the case, if we're doing that, you know what we're doing? Whatever, blah, 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 blah. Let's load. Let's start it, right? Well, you don't need to be so gung-ho on 940. Don't need to be so gung-ho in, like, finishing the mission tonight. We probably wouldn't finish it in 5 minutes anyway. So let's start it and do it properly. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's also a challenge that's not going to be, like... It's a challenge that isn't purely mechanical, so maybe we should enjoy that. Oh, cool. There are no people in this one. You can just walk right in. Medicine cabinet. Oh, free med kit. Love it. Bathtub. It's full of blood. Oh, doesn't appear to be full of blood. I'm not against loading a save so you can get the outcome you actually want. It just seemed like there were 3 doors and they all had dialogue and don't open this unless you want to fight. So I guess, yeah. As you open the refrigerator door, a whiff of ammonia sticks in your nostrils. Watery light glints off the door's polished interior. The fridge is stacked full of large plastic bins, all tightly sealed and neatly labeled. It's hard to tell through the opaque plastic, but they appear to be full of meat. Inspect the containers. Pop the lid off a container to take a closer look. First thing that hits you is the smell. The meat in here is beyond rancid. White mold frosts the sides of the bin, and it's all that you can do to keep from gagging. So you rush to put the lid back on. You recognize the familiar shape in a rotten meat, a mangled human hand. Is that what I think it is? Glory's voice is flat. Ritual supplies, the adversary prefers them aged. Harrow teaches all the initiates how to do it, how to harvest the meat, how to store it, how to label it. Nobody likes doing it at first, but you learn. By the end, it doesn't even bother you anymore. I get the picture. I warned you that you see things you didn't want to in here. You weren't lying. She turns away from you. Come on, let's keep moving. Well, that's enough. I just don't know if the spirit of anarchy is going to be super pleased with aged human meat. It seems kind of anti-proletariat to me. Oh, an evil room? Yeah, I'd love to search this place. An ostentatiously large tome sits cradled on a pedestal. The paper is robust and fibrous, and the binding has been expertly stitched. A steel plate running along the book's spine anchors it to the pedestal. Glory stares down at it, frowning. Harrow's manifesto, the handcrafted line of bullshit that he feeds to his initiates. We ate it up with a smile and came away convinced that he was a genius. She leaps through the pages with an articulated finger. Looks like he's expanded it over the last few years. It's at least twice as thick as it was when I lived here. Maybe there's something in there that we can use. I wouldn't want to hang around long enough to find out. This is Harrow's personal library. He used to experiment in here. There were dangerous things in here, Pendrolin. Sick things. I was never allowed in this room without Harrow. Nobody was. He said it was for our safety, and I think that he was telling the truth. She pauses. I feel uneasy being in here. I don't want to stay any longer than we have to. Whatever Harrow's added to his manifesto could be important. I'm going to take a look. All right, I'll watch your back, but try to be quick. Leaf through the beginning of the manifesto. You flip through the early pages of the manifesto, find what looks to be a good place to jump in, and start to read. When I first set out on the path to free living, I realized that I have to rethink all of my earlier assumptions about life. I'd have to question my own values and beliefs, and I'd need the strength to trust in the answers that came to me. The prospect was daunting, but it was also necessary. The road to true freedom is paved with unanswered questions. After all, you can't learn to be free from a book. The answers won't come from a Bible, an instruction manual, or code of conduct. If you don't learn that, you'll never break your chains. The path to true freedom is one that each of us must work on his or her own. What makes life worth living? What in life is truly valuable? And what is the dross that can be burned away? I spent weeks dissecting every aspect of my life to find the answers to these questions. Slowly, agonizingly, I pared down the list until only 4 items remained. These 4 items became the cornerstones of my new philosophy and a basis for everything that the Fire Still stands for. Love, the first cornerstone and the most important. Without love, life is bland and meaningless. Without love, we might as well be machines. Love what you do, love the people around you, but above all, love yourself. Self-determination, the second cornerstone. Each of us must be his or her own shepherd. No more gods and no more kings. Your life is your own. Lash out against anyone or anything that tries to treat you like property. An assault on your freedom is an assault on your whole being, and it must be met with an equally ferocious response. Charity. The third cornerstone. A miserly life is an empty life. If each of us is his or her own master, then nobody should live as a serf. By helping others along the path to enlightenment, so do we enrich our own lives. Passion. The final cornerstone. Complacency is poison. Be wary of it. Ambition is the key to a fulfilling life. Don't settle for what is. If you do, you abandon what could be. You hear a rustling sound behind you. Glory. Turning, you see a troubled look in her face. That ominous feeling is getting stronger, Pendrolin. It feels like we're being watched. Leave the journal alone. Save time and then finish time. My friends, it has been highly enjoyable playing Shadowrun. It does seem like the time just kind of flicks away even when we're fighting combat and failing in combat and doing our hardest to try and survive. In any case, it has been highly enjoyable, and I am looking forward to seeing you again. On Wednesday night, I believe we have, not Chaos Wheel, but more Kingdom Hearts. I will check my calendar and make sure it's free. I'm pretty sure it is. Give an update on our Discord server. You can get there by typing !plus. Otherwise, I hope you have a very good week ahead, okay? Hold tight. We'll get through it. And otherwise, remember to tell the people you love that you love them very much, okay? Good night, everyone.